Welcome to Truth Bombs, a little series that I am doing on Sunday evenings about the nature of truth. This is the second episode in that series, and you may recall, if not, feel free to go back and watch it, that the first show was about how we actually find truth. Little computer care here. Okay, and that question was about the idea of putting kids in these desks and making them sit still and listen and regurgitate information as a method for finding truth, or as a way to find the truth, slash the same thing is most churches. You sit there and listen, and that's how truth is sent to you, or that's how you receive truth, versus actually your only true way to receive truth, your only method by which you can have truth enter you. And that is via the body, somatically. Your body receives truth, your body translates truth. Any information that comes into you sensorially, regardless of whether that is a sensory experience that is happening with your eyes, nose, mouth, ears, or whether that's something internal or some sensory sensation that you experience inside you. Either way, you're experiencing truth via your body and your experiences. And so if then all truth is coming to you through your sensory world, through your body, then the question is, how do you get to truth? How do you find truth? Well, the way that you've been taught to find truth is you listen to smart people, you think about things, maybe, and you read and memorize things and give it back. Those are the ways that we've been taught to find truth. But if truth is in your body, if truth is flowing through your body, you can imagine me dancing wildly right now, then how is truth actually processed, received, restored, transferred, and taken into the body as a complete physical experience? It is through exactly that, experience and practice. So any spiritual path that you have that is relying 100% on your mind and on the logical, on the rational, on the non-physical, on sitting there, you could be if you could be a brain in a tub experiencing that information, then it's probably a very limited path. Think about my friends who say that the people they visit in Africa are the happiest people they've ever seen, and think about the videos that you've seen about Africa or maybe India, but especially Africa. What do you see there? You see that people dance, they drum, they sing, they move. This is all part of their spiritual experience, right? It's all part of the music that surrounds them, that they explore. In fact, there was one guy who was a psychologist, or is an anthropologist. He went to study these African tribes, and he was sitting there taking notes, and they all started dancing, and and playing, and he was just sitting there with his notepad, and pretty soon they all came around him, and they're all dancing, and they're all dancing around him, and they gather more and more, and they dance more and more wildly, and he's wondering what's going to happen. Are they going to cook me in a stew or something? Until eventually, boom, penny drops. He gets the message, and he stands up and starts dancing, and then everyone goes, hooray! And then they all dance with him, right? In other words, you don't get to be in our sphere if you're not dancing. You don't get to be there if you're not moving. You don't get to be there disconnected with your body. You have to follow the rhythm. You have to follow the movement. You have to have the experience in your body, in your physical form of that movement, to be part of us, because that's how we transfer information and knowledge and truth and experience and wisdom, is through our dances, through our celebrations, through our movement, as much as anything else. And any Eastern religion that you're going to have, even if they have meditations where you're sitting ostensibly unmoving on a cushion, what you are doing in that time is you're focusing on your body, primarily your breath most of the time. Are you aware of your breath? I read a fantastic book this week. It's called Desire. And in this book, it says the first and smallest step you can take towards spiritual awakening and enlightenment is to understand your breath. In other words, pay attention to your breath. And just notice how your breath flows. Notice as it comes in, as it goes out, a few times a day. He says start just a few times a day, maybe every hour, maybe a couple times an hour, up to 50 or 100 times a day, just paying attention to my breath. How deep is my breath? How long does the breath take? How long do I hold in the breath before I release it? Do I pause on the in-breath or the out-breath? Looking at all these different elements of breath can help you understand your experience in your body. There's a reason at the very beginning of Genesis that God breathes the breath of life into man, and then life begins. And some people say life ends with that last breath that you release as you die. You breathe out that last breath, with it perhaps the soul. And so the breath is guiding you, holding you all the time. Your breath is the key to your existence in your physical body, is the first step. Everyone breathes, everyone has to breathe, and everyone can pay attention to their breathing. Yes, you don't need to sit in a lotus position on a meditation chair when you do the meditation cushion when you do this, and you don't necessarily have to dance like a wild person at first. But if you want to begin to connect to your body and understand your body and understand truth, you're going to have to do it somatically. You're going to have to do it through your body. I remember even the deepest times when I began to pray on my mission, and I was trying to find God, searching for God and answers, and how do I convert people to this higher truth. And I remember my answers came primarily through my body, in my body. My answers were not intellectual. They may have been ideas, go do this, but something felt right about it. I said, well, shall I do that? And that felt right. That felt good. You could say that was my gut instinct or my intuition, but something felt right about it and felt good about it. And therefore I did that thing, and I had a miraculous experience more often than not as I tried to do that. So even then, if you're looking for some intellectual or next step, there's still a somatic, physical response to truth. In fact, people who have told me, I've read stories and heard stories about people who were abused or in abusive situations, and they often said that when that was about to happen, they had a message. They had a feeling in their gut, don't go here, don't do this, don't be with this person, don't go to this place. And so again, they have this message coming in through the body. They have this feeling coming in through the body. Oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm not supposed to do. And then they're able to act on it. The more disconnected you are from your body, the less likely you are to listen to your intuition. The more disconnected you are from your body, the less likely you are to listen to your intuition, the less truth you're going to receive. Why do they force soldiers to stand stock upright and follow commands instantly? Because that turns off the body's intuition, because they can't hear the logical phrase, don't run into the cannon fire, that would come into their body, or don't kill another person, if they were able to, if they were flowing, if they were open. The interesting thing too about these African societies, this relates to my other series that's going on now, is they never told the guy what they wanted him to do. They never said, dance, get up and dance, right? And isn't that different when you're just dancing around someone as opposed to commanding them to dance, to tell them to dance? I remember being in Germany and seeing the Africans who were there as refugees, and the bus was taking off, and when the bus took off and they wanted to stop, they would clap, they would whistle, but they would never yell, they would never scream, they would never use their voices and say stop, like we would do, right? Which would be normal for us. Their whole society is built around, okay, how do we invite people somatically through the body to engage in an experience or to join us in this dance? It's not, let's convince them, let's tell them all the reasons they should, let's tell them how they can avoid therapy when they're dancing. Speaking of that, that reminds me of reading an article not long ago that when the salsa dancing craze was going through New York, a lot of people found they didn't need their psychiatrists anymore. They didn't need their psychologists or their when they were salsa dancing regularly. Why? They're doing movement and they're having connection and physical touch, right? So people are going out 2, 3, 4 times a week and they're having these intense movements and they're using their body and they're sweating and they're getting exercise, yes, but also connection and connecting their body to music. And then all of a sudden, the psychological issues disappear. All of a sudden, the worries and the depressions and the anxieties evaporate. All of a sudden, they feel connected to the world and they don't feel lonely and afraid and ashamed. And they're just enjoying themselves in their bodies. That's how powerful dance is. That's how powerful any type of somatic experience, somatic meaning of the body, or expression is. So if you want to find truth, you want to find access to the truth, you're not going to do it by reading dusty books, no matter how good or bad those books are, alone. You're going to have a limit with that, all right? And your limit is going to be the place at which you deny and run from your natural body sensations. Every child, every baby can move to music or rhythm. You know, they respond, they smile, they hear sounds, they want to explore their bodies. And then your exploration of your body is shut down time after time when you continue your life. As you go through your life, you're told to not touch yourself certain places, not to move in certain ways, not to make certain sounds. And so that natural somatic expression, we're not even talking about deeper explorations right now, but that natural somatic expression is completely crushed. And that exploration that you're going to do to actually figure out who you are as a physical being in the world. Where are my limits? What is my experience? I remember complaining to my therapist that my experience was of not having contact in childhood, of just floating as if in space, so to speak, right? And not having that connection, not feeling anyone pressing against me or connected to me, and then having to make that up or look for that in adulthood because that was something that was missing from my psychology, my healing, my exploration, that was my impression, right? Okay, so that's step one. Get into your body somehow and do something physically in your body, preferably something that has expression, emotion, pleasure, fun. That's why I said dance is probably number one on that list. But anything else that you enjoy doing in the body, taking a bath, taking a shower, going to the hot tub, doing the sauna, anything that's going to give you an experience of your body and move you into your body is going to be closer to moving you toward the truth. And that's the wise thing to do. So now that's part one. Part two is, how do people find truth once they want to find a deeper experience of truth? And maybe they've done these things, maybe they find them too hard. What do we do? Well, that's where meditation comes in. All of the practices, and this is the other half, to find practices that will get you into your body, into your truth. As I said, even if you're sitting there meditating silently, you're still feeling your body, you're in your body, you're told not to think about the weather or anything else, or simply to allow the ideas to pass through. But that's one reason I do the self-empathy meditation and say, where do you feel tension, pain, or discomfort? I become aware of my body. I breathe into it. I may move relating to that discomfort. I may make sounds to express that discomfort. And so I begin to develop that relationship again with my body, and thus to truth. Thus to truth, synonymous with reality in this context. So reality is truth, truth is reality, things as they are, right? I want to experience life as it is. I want to experience things as they are. I want to know the truth of things. Why? Because walking into traffic and not seeing cars is dangerous. Because walking over cliffs and not seeing that you're going to fall is dangerous. You want to experience life as it is to be able to do the right actions to get the right results that you want. And to do that, you have to be connected to truth and reality. And even prayer, you're kneeling and praying. Very often you have a special haltung, you have a special way that you hold your body during prayer. You're not just praying. Some people say, well, I pray lying on my back. And do you pray like this? Do you pray like this? What does that mean? How does that change? In India, they have the mudras, and they all mean different things. Just how you hold your hands and how you touch your fingers together can do something completely different to your energy or how it opens truth within you. And so the East has all of these patterns, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga. It has all of these systems that are devoted to finding truth through the body as you move through your blocks or your issues. Actually, a skilled yoga teacher can look at someone and see their movement and see what their issues are, because they see what parts of their body are frozen or numb or stuck. They see where they're able to move and not. My bioenergetic therapist could do the same thing. You could stand up in front of him and he would give you a psychological profile that more or less was on the money pretty much every time, because he'd seen so many people with similar habits, attitudes, and the issues are in the tissues, as they say, but even more, the truth is in the body. And so everything gets encoded. There's people who can read your tongue and find out what your illnesses are. There's people who can do it with your eyes as well, right? Your iris diagnosis. And so, and there's people who can do it with your pulse. Okay, so they're looking at all these different aspects of the body, and instead of some intellectual analysis, they're doing a somatic evaluation. So if you want to find truth and you want to find reality and you want to find, therefore, freedom and peace, go to your body, go through your body and have some sort of daily practice, whether it's dancing, whether it's meditation, whether it's walking consciously, whatever it is, find some path to open up to your body and listen to your body on a daily basis. Now, I have people who say, wow, that hurts, that's frustrating, that's scary, I don't want to do that. I understand. If you do these things, you're involved in these practices, you're probably going to feel pain. There will be pain at some point, generally. And the reason is because you're opening up to look at those things that have been hidden, locked away, past traumas. And so you're going to open up to some of the pain in your body. And that truth may feel good. It may be empowering and enlightening. But that truth may also be painful first. And you may have to move through pain and explore it and express it to accept that truth, to accept that reality in your new consciousness, in your new way of being. Does that make sense? And so even if you're feeling pain when you're exploring these things, I mean, there's various kinds of pain, but some of that emotional pain is to be expected. Some of that transformation, some sudden tears that appear for no reason, or rage that boils out of control that you didn't know was there, is going to be triggered by all these various methods of movement. Of course, lovemaking is also on this list, right? In all the various forms that it has, but I'm going to get to that later. Anyway, yeah, find practices that you can do, that you enjoy, that connect you to, that allow you to dive into your body, feel your body, explore your body, express yourself within your body, and begin to have these experiences of truth that are disconnected from and devoid from the information that someone gives you from outside. I remember that was the first thing my teacher said when I started studying with him in the first Tantra, Neo-Tantra workshop. He said, we're not going to give you ideas to memorize, we're going to give you concepts to try, experiences to have. And there is where your wisdom and your knowledge and your experience and your judgment is going to come into play, and not from, hey, did you memorize these 36 tattvas, right? And be able to say the 10 commandments in the right order, or whatever it is, right? The true wisdom, the true truth, the true reality comes through your body. Therefore, find and do practices that will give you that truth. All right? Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.